So the topic that we did for business was computer information systems. So about CIS, information technology is the use of computers to create, process, store, retrieve, and exchange all kinds of electronic data and information. It's a formal discipline of technical, organizational, and business systems intended to collect, produce, store, and process information. Information systems does not only depend on systems and technology, but also like on people. And like once combined, the broader information systems approach comes to life. Information systems are dependent on need, case of use, and value. In like other words, like solve problems and provide some value. So one job that we picked was assistant administrator, and assistant system administrators assist in assessing and analyzing how feasible implementing specific software will be for the organization. They gather information to analyze and evaluate existing or proposed systems. The assistant system administrator like installs, maintains, and like upgrades operating systems to hardware and like interfaces. They also work with like other technical staff to ensure connectivity and compatibility between systems. For this job, you need like a minimum of a bachelor's degree in computer science, information technology, computer engineering, or any related fields. And you could honestly make around like 50,079 on average per year. So if you're interested in becoming an information system administrator, you need to consider like how much education you want to go for, like having a bachelor's degree in like in terms of like higher education levels, or like a master's degree.
All right, so a IT project manager is in charge of overseeing the process of planning, executing, and delegating responsibilities around the organization's information technology. IT project managers may work in a variety of industries. Almost all industries nowadays require computer technologies. They coordinate with administrative staff and professionals and other IT professionals to produce a new piece of system software. So in the US, the average salary is about $116,000 per year, with a range of about 93,000 to 140,000. So IT project managers are usually required to have a bachelor's degree in information technology or a bachelor's degree in computer science. And then there are also project management certifications that you have to get as well as those bachelor degrees. So a support specialist includes talking to customers on the phone and communicating with them through messaging platforms, helping customers diagnose technical issues over the phone, and speaking with them about installing hardware or software on their own computers. Support specialists, also known as technical support specialists, provide technical support to organizations by maintaining troubleshooting their IT systems. So as a support specialist, you're looking to make about $49,000 a year, which is okay. And support specialists people that hire support specialists accept people with associate's degree, but prefer a bachelor's degree. And large software companies may have different requirements for the applicants for the job. Yeah.
Next up, we got a system architect. So some core job tasks: the systems architect is an information and communications technology professional. Systems architect define the architecture of a computerized system in order to fulfill certain requirements. So they kind of design how the system is going to work before it's actually programmed. Some skills required for the position: they must not only possess programming skills, but they also do programming after they design the system, which is a lot of work. They also require organization and conceptualization skills. So once you design a system, of course, there's going to be some sort of physicality to it. So if you're working in a tight space, like some sort of chip in a car, you have to kind of design where that chip is going to fit. They are able to easily engage in abstract thinking and logical reasoning, and have the ability to self-evaluate and adapt efficiently. So they have to kind of adapt to ever-changing environments, meaning like different areas where they have to work in, like I said, a chip in a car, or maybe even like a fighter pilot sort of cockpit, like targeting system. So there is no licensing or testing explicitly required, but if you're being hired by a certain firm, they may give you a test to see if you're, I guess you could say, adequate enough. The test is, of course, made by themselves. It's an in-house kind of thing. There is really no standardized test like a Series 7. There's some traditional majors and minors associated with this. Any sort of engineering degree, and at minimum a bachelor's. However, there are some firms that accept an associate's, but it's exceedingly rare. Nowadays, you want a bachelor's to hire in really anything, honestly. But most places you go are going to require a bachelor's.
So we also have a software developer. So a software developer, they're basically the creative like masterminds behind computer programs. They brainstorm and create ideas for apps, games, and other networks. Their goal is to get apps that, consumers will rely on, and things that can, get you addicted to a game, make you want to go back. Same thing with like a website. They want to keep their consumers happy. So this also requires like problem solving skills. They need to analyze what the consumer needs and develop the software to solve the problem. So they'll do this by like, monitoring performance or modifying a program, again, to fit the needs of the consumer. There's two different types of software developers. You can be an application software developer or a system software developer. So the application software developer, they focus more on computer and mobile applications, while the system software developer focuses more on the operating system level software and the network distribution of that. So in order to create software programs, you must know how to code, or at the very least, be able to tell a programmer how to map out a certain design or the craft of whatever draft you're, trying to create. You need to be able to share your vision, basically. So collaboration is also like a key thing you need to be good at. Yeah, and then some qualifications would be a bachelor's degree in any related area of study you're going into. Specifically, it'd be like most helpful if you went into software development, itself, or at least computer science. But let's say you're going into the medical field, you can go into it for that as well. They also look for, in order to get like a high paying job, they look for, job experience. So that can either be professional or just an internship in college, and a certification in either like, Excel or Microsoft, Amazon software services, or Cloudera is also beneficial. You also need like transferable skills. So things like problem solving, teamwork, analytic strategy, and intrinsic motivation. I feel like all jobs need that. But some fields for software developers to go into, just some examples would be like computer systems design, finance and insurance, manufacturing, publishing, management of companies and enterprise, or engineering services. So these are the average salaries of both the application software developer and the system software developer. They're both relatively high at 103,000 per year and then 110,000 per year. If you look at both of these specifically, the low is about 61,000 and the high is about 100, 120, 150,000. But some other jobs that would also utilize the same core skills as a software developer would be a web developer, a computer programmer, or a database administrator. And these hold the same skills created to, design websites. And you must be able to like analyze the data in order to better the product for the consumer.
So some jobs outside of computer information systems that also use the sort of core values of it are accounting. You have to use Excel as an accountant, which has programming in it done by computer system and software engineers. You have to enter tons and tons and tons of numbers in multiple columns on Excel, and they're really a pain to type in by hand on a calculator. So people program Excel with certain programming and sort of, I guess you could say, formulas where they just add up all the numbers and they tell you the value of your assets, your liabilities, your stockholders, equity, all that kind of stuff. And as an accountant, it's very beneficial because the risk of human error is extremely low. And if you mess up as an accountant, you also lose your job because your job is to not mess up and communicate the info of a company clearly to the IRS. Another one is a camera crew. So they use high-tech cameras and videography equipment, which is programmed and designed via knowledge of computers and electronics. So cameras and videography equipment have evolved drastically since, per se, the 1940s. To render in a field of view and to kind of de-blur an image, you have to move like a dial with your hand. It'd be all mechanical and analog. Nowadays, they just kind of auto focus on people, which is really cool. But of course, all that work is done by people in CIS. Influencers, they have to use social media, which is made and created by computer technicians like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. They're all brought into existence by people that are extremely smart and know how to make a social media app and how to make it engaging and how to sort of form algorithms to see what you like, what'll come up on your For You page or your homepage on Instagram or on your Snapchat articles and all that kind of stuff. So that concludes our presentation on CIS.